One of the themes that I really enjoyed when I was younger was a very terrible set of cards, being the Super Robo archetype, being consisting of Robo Lady, Robo Ryu, Super Robo Lady, and Super Robo Ryu, both all having Earth Machine level 3 normal monsters and Earth Machine level 6 fusion monsters, along with Cybernetic Zone from Phantom Darkness. And this is all just very nostalgic to me because I really liked these cards growing up because they were unique and different from everything else in the whole entire series, where Cybernetic Zone targets a face-up machine monster you control, remove it from play until the end phase, and when it comes back it doubles the attack. During the next standby phase, it is destroyed. So it wasn't there forever, so overall, it was a mediocre card for the inclusion of the series. While one can, if it attacks directly, it gains an additional 1,000, while the other, if it attacks a monster, gains an additional 1,000. And they both can tag out into each other on the turns that they weren't special summoned. But this is just the start of everything, as there's going to be more to this, to my nostalgic walk, of things I really enjoyed growing up that I kind of miss using, but kind of also wish they would get a card or two just randomly as just lore support, like Cybernetic Zone was in Phantom Darkness years later after these released in Legacy of Darkness. So this is the first stop, and let's take a look at other things that I really enjoyed growing up. Next up on this list of cards are actually three different cards, one being Dark Blade because it's one of my favorite normal monsters from back in the day, along with two monsters that can attach to it as unions, being Kiryu and Pitch the Dark Dragon. Pitch the Dark Dragon allows you to have the Dark Blade gain 400 attack and defense, and when it attacks a defense position monster, it does piercing battle damage, while Kiryu just makes it where you could send this to the grave, tribute it, to have your Dark Blade attack directly. So, in my opinion, Pitch Dark Dragon is way better than what Kiryu is, because one's a level 3 compared to a level 5. Being able to do piercing battle damage on a 2200 body really does quite a bit, especially closing out games, especially back then. So this is another thing that I really did enjoy using back when I was a child, next to what a lot of other people were doing, because it was just a lot of build what you want to see how things go. Now, because there's so many cards in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's hard to narrow it down outside of things like Nimble Momonga and Giant Germ. I used to run both of these in separate decks just to stall out attacks and be able to recover life points or burn my opponent for a little extra if needed, and give myself a free extra couple bodies so I could tribute some of them later. Now, I know a lot of people use them for other specific reasons. I just used it because I thought they were unique cards, being able to summon out multiple different copies of each other, especially back then, because honestly, a lot of the older card designs are very unique compared to today, with everything being mainstream, just slimmed down into specific areas of what it could do and what it shouldn't do. But back then, the game had a lot of uniqueness, I would say, especially if you look at all these older cards. And just to wrap it up, because I don't want to have this video go on for as long as I want, Dark Crusader from Phantom Darkness. Now, the reason why this is nostalgic to me, because I actually had a pure dark deck that was running things like Giant Germ and Dark Blade, and also Pitch Black Dragon, that I could just pitch cards off of this so it can gain attack, so I could just attack over whatever I needed. Sure, it was a huge investment back then, but since I was a child, I didn't really have access to things like Dark Arm Dragon, Dark Crater, and all of that. I was just playing with what I had. That's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Was pretty much for a lot of children back in the day, and this was one of the cards that I really did enjoy, just building a deck around it, using things like the Destiny heroes like Destiny Hero Fearmonger and Destiny Hero Malicious, just to get stuff in the graveyard so I could just lead up into a big ginormous beat stick on the board. Because the effect when you discard, it's not a hard once per turn, it's not a soft once per turn, but overall, it's just a lot of nostalgia for me looking back at all these old cards and looking at all these old sets. But I want to know what you guys think about this, and I wanted to start a discussion on seeing what is everyone's nostalgic cards from back in the day when they were kids, when they first started, and just to see what type of audience I really have, because I do meta stuff, I do casual stuff, and I do everything in between. So there's that. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video.